Hey ladies, welcome to the Bustmob podcast, a breast and body positive resource that was created for the extraordinary women of Bustmob. Now, if you aren't familiar with Bustmob, we're a community of kind and supportive women who are really just cheering each other along on our booby journeys. Now, you can join us for free and connect with thousands of other ladies at bustmob.com. I'm your host, Jenny Eden, and I'm joined by one of my favorite people, Greta Nance, and we have such an exciting show for you today. So today we're going to be talking about having an unsupportive partner or family member or friend around the topic of breast implants or having a breast augmentation or really any surgery. Like, that really sucks to be excited about something and then have someone that you care about really just poo-poo on your parade.
Poo-poo. That sounds kind of like a superficial topic in a certain way, but it's not at all.
No.
It truly has prevented, I have no doubt, hundreds of thousands of women for taking a step forward in something that they really wanted because somebody didn't support them.
Right.
And so it's something, as a patient care coordinator here for 17 years, I've probably spent almost the most amount of time talking about. Like, people who are like, I really want this, but this, and this, you know? And it can be extreme sometimes. Like, I've truly heard stories where a spouse, or I don't want to keep saying husband, but a partner, you know, is purposely like sabotaging their surgery.
Like roadblocking.
I mean, that's extreme. But just like what you just said, even a friend or your mom making really negative comments, like, especially if it's child related too, like, hey, you're being selfish. You know, you're not taking care of your children. Like, it can really prevent us from moving forward. So I'm so glad we're finally talking about it. We've got some suggestions, but I bet it has happened to every single person who has contemplated it in some way. Wouldn't you say?
Probably, yeah. Like, for me, the first time around, I didn't really tell a whole lot of people. But the second time around, I was way more transparent about it. And I told my mom, like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. And she's like, but why? And I was like, well, I wasn't like, I'm not trying to explain myself to you. I'm just telling you what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know a lot of people don't have that attitude, but for me, I was like, I value your opinion, but I wasn't asking for it. And maybe I'm stubborn and I don't realize it, but I was like, I'm excited about this. And to me, getting excited about a certain time in your life, like getting plastic surgery, and I don't know if you're all going to like leap with me, but it's kind of like when you are getting married and you want to like talk about it and you want everyone to be excited with you, or like when you're pregnant and you're like nesting and you're about to have a baby and everyone's excited, but it's like, hey, I'm about to do this awesome thing for myself and I'm excited. And they're all like, well, why would you want to do that? It's like, well, wait a minute. You were supportive and you had my back and all these other exciting aspects of my life. But now, because you don't understand this one, you're pushing back, and that sucks.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good comparison to those different points in our life. You want the people you care about to think your decision is a good one. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about, like, I have a very personal example too of when my initial breast augmentation 17 years ago, my husband at the time, no longer, was not supportive of it. And there are many reasons I think partners are. Sometimes they're valid. They truly don't understand the surgery and they think it's risky. Mm-hmm. You know, other times it's monetary. You know, they financially don't think you should have it. And there might be some validity to that. But a lot of times I also have experienced girlfriends not being supportive because I was taking a step and they didn't understand it. And probably they were having their own internal struggle of their own confidence. And they were watching me grow my confidence and they wanted to hold me back. But like, what are some of the reasons you've seen? Because I know I see it in Bustmob all the time. Is it the safety aspect? Is it money? Is it confidence? Is it confusion? Is it stereotypes of plastic surgery? Like, why are people doing this to us?
God, I feel like it's all of those.
Yeah.
A lot of times it is stereotype. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense. All I've seen in my life is botched, or like, what's that show? Nip Tuck. Mm-hmm. Like, those aren't realistic illustrations of what she wants at all. And I think it's important, like, if you have a spouse or someone in your life that you really want their them to be on board, and it's more like the stigma or the safety or they have questions, bring them to a consultation, because for them, they get the opportunity to ask the questions and to feel more confident and comfortable with the scenario, like when that plays out. Going to the consult, asking the questions.
That's a great idea.
But they're not all like that though.
Yeah.
Some of them, it could be monetary, which again is valid. Like, be smart. You shouldn't have a huge expensive surgery and not have the means to pay for it responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
So there are steps that it can still happen for you. You just got to like squirrel away some money every month, or talk about medical financing in a way that protects your family and make it smart. But there are the ones that are like, well, you just want attention, or you just want people to notice you. And then they're in like a weird jealous place because you want to do something that they're not understanding. And that is when it's tricky. And like, my heart really goes out to those women, because that's not the heart behind it. They just want to feel good about themselves. Or like, let's say they nursed for Jesus. One lady nursed for 10 years. Her breasts will never be the same. And she just wants to feel confident in a bathing suit again. But then having a spouse be like, you just want men to notice you. It's like, what? Do you not know who I am? Like that blows my mind that people are like that out there.
Yeah. And I know you've heard my story. That was kind of my initial story. In hindsight, I think that's such a great idea, though, what you said. I never involved him in the conversation with a surgeon. Like, I'm like, this is what I'm doing because it's important to me. Get on board with it. And, for many reasons, he was not on board with it. And he left for a couple days. I mean, not like our marriage didn't end at that point, but he said, I don't condone this. I don't understand this. Call one of your girlfriends, call your sister to come take care of you.
God.
But I'm so lucky I had the strength to go through with it, because I know so many women wouldn't. I mean, truly, if you don't have your partner's support, how tough is that? But then funnily enough, this time, so now I do have a very supportive partner who also is like, I don't get it, but if it makes you happy, baby, let's figure out a way to make it happen. But I still putting it out there on social media. I got some negative feedback from women who didn't understand. And even though I'm so confident in my decision, each time that took me down a notch, because it made me internally, women saying things to me directly like, too bad you don't love yourself. That really still hurts. And all of a sudden I'm like, do I love myself? It makes you kind of internally spiral. So it's just, our words carry so much weight of people that we either care about, or I didn't even know this person. It's so funny how much it plays into making this decision to cosmetically enhance or change something in your body.
I like to kind of mess with my mom about stuff like this. So I was like, hey, Mom, I think I'm going to get some liposuction. And she's like, what did she say? She was like, what in the world?
No way.
And I was like, not really, but I was just messing with you, because she has such like not a distorted view. Like, a long time ago she did, because she didn't understand it. But since I've been working like in the industry and she understands now that it's more about life change than anything else, she's totally on board with it. But that was not her initial first step. Like, she had to get there by me reminding her what I do, why I do it. And then she got it. But not everyone is going to initially. Everyone has a preconceived notion of what plastic surgery is, and they love to talk about it. But really, most people don't zoom out and ask the question, well, what is it inside them that makes them want to do this? Like, it's almost always they just want to be back to where they were. They want to fix something they can't, or they're just unhappy with something they can't change.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I agree with that so much. And that's why some place like Bustmob, which didn't exist when I had mine done, but I kind of had a community in here that I worked around who were so pro plastic positivity that kept me going. But now there is a space. Like, I know that we're going to hear some sort of negativity from somewhere going through this journey, Bustmob is so positive. So is that like what your first recommendation would be if people are experiencing this, to like get in there and not just get in there, right? But like share?
Absolutely. Like the best way to dispel fear or negativity is to really be vulnerable. So getting in Bustmob, which is bustmob.com, there's 2 options. You can do a Facebook group, which is private, or a standalone forum. But there's over 8,000 ladies in there who have probably experienced exactly what you're feeling. So getting in there, tell your story, and connect with other ladies. And they're like, yeah, girl, I dealt with that too. But let me tell you now, my husband loves it. Like I hear that so often. And again, it's not just husbands. It could be a wife. It could be your spouse. It could be your children. Like everyone has an opinion and people love to tell their opinions. But getting in Bustmob, you're going to see like straight from the source, like, hey, I dealt with this. My husband was not on board. But since having it, he saw how much it made me feel better and how confident it's made me. And now he understands. They're not always going to get on board beforehand. A lot of times it is after the procedure. They see that life change happen for you.
I agree with that. And I think one thing you said is worth repeating, getting vulnerable. Like that is probably some of what I was missing the first time around with my husband. Like, hey, I'm doing this, but I should have said, I'm really insecure about my chest. It pains me to get dressed every day. It hurts my heart to look at other clothes that women are wearing that I don't get to wear. Like, I don't remember if I shared that part. And so I think the vulnerability is really important in getting people to understand why we're doing this. Because I do think you're just like you said, people want to assume, oh, she just wants some big titties.
Big
you know,
knockers.
like, no. I didn't feel normal. And I wonder how good of a job I did explaining that. Now that's really hard, you know, especially to do to with your parents or your girlfriends. Like I didn't feel that I should have had to do that. You know, I just like a wedding or just like the baby, I expected them to get on board with something I was excited about. But I think that's a really good point that unless we get vulnerable and explain that, a lot of times our loved ones might not understand why we're wanting to do it. And I think that that's what makes Bustmob so powerful is women are in there sharing their scars. I heard that recently of just like getting vulnerable with other people. If we don't share our weaknesses, like that's how we as humans connect.
Right.
Like you can always find some connection in pain with somebody else.
Yeah.
So
that's a big part of Bustmob. Like I see a lot of women, they show their before photos. And I know that's got to be so hard. Like you're already in that group because you're unhappy with something, but to then take a picture of it and post it for others to see, I'm just like, that is so brave. And I love that they were vulnerable enough to show the biggest part of them that they are the most unhappy with. And that is an after photo. And there are some that they have like strong asymmetry that they want fixed. And it's not just like a small chest. It could be like one's bigger than the other. There's tuberous breasts. There's like a lot of different types of anatomy that women are self-conscious about, but they still get in there and they show other women because they think, you know what, I'm here not just for me, but also for you. Like it's a big part of Bustmob to give back what you're given.
Yeah. Oh God, I agree with that so much. And I think I've told you this too. Like the girlfriends, I use that term loosely, that I had 17 years ago who didn't understand my breast augmentation then. And I don't understand why you would do this. You know, pretty negative. Have now all come around at certain times and been like, hey, I'm interested in this. Hey, I'm like, see, you know, just because I did it sooner and you didn't understand, like it didn't make me a different person. And the world is moving to be more and more accepting of it, but you still may have those people. I love how you say poo-poo on your parade. But there's tons of us out there who will support you in this journey.
Yeah.
So we're in Bustmob.
We are in Bustmob. And there are, like I said, over 8,000 ladies in there. They're pouring into one another. They're answering questions. They're being super vulnerable. They're showing you the most insecure parts of their body. Like, it's beautiful what's happening in there. And if you do feel like you have an unsupportive partner, getting in there makes everything feel so normal. And that's what we want. We want to feel like we're not crazy for wanting this. And you're not. Because there are so many people out there that have implants. Like, I can go anywhere and be like, I start talking about breast implants, and they'll be like, hey, I'm going to tell you a secret. And they tell me they have them. I'm like, why are you being, I mean, it's fine, but so many people are like that. And so getting in a safe place where you can actually open up, even if you're not someone that would normally just, sit at a dinner table and be like, hey, let's talk about breast implants. Because no one does that except us.
Yeah, I'm like, I do that all the time. Yeah. But I wouldn't have before. Mm-hmm. So I understand. Like, it takes slowly building of confidence, because almost everywhere you're going to have some sort of negative or ignorant comment.
Totally.
And you just have to be prepared. And the ladies of Bustmob strengthen me.
I love that. So that's you right now. You have an unsupportive partner, spouse, sister, brother, friend, whatever. Like, get in Bustmob. Tell everyone how you're feeling. And you will receive the most, I don't even know, abundant amount of support and encouragement, because that's what they're there for. They're in the same boat as you. They're in the same journey as you, and they've been there, so they get it. So go to bustmob.com. You can sign up for the private Facebook group or the standalone forum. Again, they're both private, so no one's going to see all your information. And it's just a great place to connect. So get in there, tell your story, and just be ready to meet some awesome ladies.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Bye.